we keep covering Australia because it's like them and New Zealand and the way they are approaching this virus is, man, it's leading to a lot of familiar things and not familiar for the good reasons. For good reason, that is. So starting on September the 13th, I know they're going through their pockets of Australia, of course, are going through their lockdowns. But starting on September 13th, what is it, New South Wales residents that are fully vaccinated against COVID-19 will be given new freedoms. Okay. Backtrack. Let's try to really think about what was just said. And this is coming from 9 News Sydney. These new residents that are fully vaccinated will be given new freedoms. This is always the dangerous approach to how liberty and freedom works, because they act as if it's given. That's oxymoronic. That entire sentence is oxymoronic. This is what they say. Residents of hotspots can leave home for an hour of recreation on top of their exercise hour, while people in other areas can meet 5 others outdoors. Okay. You're being imprisoned in your home. Can we just say that now? Because that's literally what the fuck that means. You're being imprisoned in your home. That's how it works in the jails, bro. You get your hour recreation and you go back. That's called prison, man. You just get to do it at home. These fools are saying that starting, not starting till September the 13th. So not yet. Hold on to your horses. Or hold on to your jabs, to your mask. Let's say that. That's more of a prop. Hold on to your face diaper. So you can leave the house for an hour of recreation, and you can leave the house for an hour for exercise. And then other people in other areas can meet with 5 people outdoors, of course, though. Premier Gladys, I can't say that last name, and I ain't even about to fucking attempt to, said the vaccination milestones of 6 million reached this week would allow for a small renewal in freedoms for residents with a jab. Now, of course, this is completely out of the window if you don't have the jab. This is insane, bros. And to think that there are people that will look at this, like in America, and will say that's something that we need to strive for. That's something that we need to be doing here. We need to be implementing here. And that's people that are, obviously you're punished. But then if you get the vaccine, it's like, well, you can't really do everything. You can't go actually be free. Will allow you just for an hour. How they're going to be keeping track of that, I have no idea. But just for an hour, you have these new freedoms, because to them, freedom is something that is given to you by the state. That is a horrendous story right there. But it also is a learning and a teaching experience that I think we can take from this. And this is how folks approach government, right? These people approach the state, they approach government as if it is the beacon of what is righteous, right? And freedom, unfortunately, is given. See, that's not how liberty works, right? All governments can do and all other people can do is impede on those freedoms. This is why I've never liked the rhetoric change of people that would try to suggest that, like, okay, people in other countries don't have such freedoms. That's not how freedom works. You can say that people in those areas have governments that either subsidize, facilitate, or directly impede upon people's freedom. But the freedom exists, and it's inherent in every individual that lives on this earth. That's how it works. That's how liberty works. It is not something that is given. And the fact that you have this totalitarianism, essentially, in this area or in any given area, where you have a group of people that can up and dictate you only get an hour of exercise. What the fuck is this? Like, yeah, we've crossed over into that, this is beyond evil. But what's frustrating is that these people like to think that they're good. And that's how they've been able to get away with it in so many places throughout the world. They've been able to get away with it because they have positioned themselves to where they're the good people, right? Keep this in mind. For the most part, every act of democide, oppressive regimes, they've positioned themselves that they thought that they had the moral high ground in which they were doing it. And it doesn't matter who you take. You can take Hitler. You can take Pol Pot. You can take Stalin. You can take what happened in North Korean communism. You can take Mao. You can take Zimbabwe. You can take Somalia. The beloved, they say that all the anarchists should move to Somalia. Somalia is a failed socialist state. You could take so many areas that unfortunately have facilitated direct death, so actually killing of people, but also famines and, bad economic management of certain resources, which is more of what you got. Yeah, you did get the camps and you did get all of that with the USSR, but they also just the overages, the shortages, which leads to, unfortunately, economic destruction in those geographical areas. All of that is facilitated by people that think they have the moral high ground and they think that they are the good guys. So I will say this, and I'll be as firm as I possibly can. If you are an advocate of vaccine mandates by way of the state, by way of the government, if you are an advocate of some sort of lockdown, forceful lockdowns by way of the government, in some sort of way, any sort of way, you are a piece of shit. You're not a good person. Objectively speaking, you're not a good person. You can sit here and say that you're doing it because you care so much about people. You don't want folks to die. You can say all of that. But objectively speaking, you're advocating for acts of aggression on people. Yeah, this is for a virus with a 99% survival rate for most demographics. But that's even aside from that, even if it wasn't that, you're still using acts of aggression on peaceful people. You just think that you have the high ground because, okay, this person may or may not be spreading a virus with, again, a 99% survival rate. You didn't hold such logic for any other respiratory illnesses that have ever existed throughout human history. You only held it for COVID. You don't have any sort of moral high ground. And like I said, putting it bluntly, you are a piece of shit. You can position yourself as if you are a good person, but you're the baddies here. You're not the good people. And that's what makes this situation at least unique in this area, but not unique in that it hasn't happened, but unique in the sense that you've seen this from a lot of totalitarian dictatorships, violent, oppressive regime, in that they think that they're the good ones. But you're not. So if you are one of those people who think something like this and what Australia is doing, where they're basically imprisoning people in the house and saying, well, if you do what we say and get the jab, we'll let you go out for a little hour. That's it. That's all you get. But you get to go out for an hour. If you're one of those advocates, you're a piece of shit. And I don't care who you are. You're a piece of shit. You just watched a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake. Catch us live at 12 p.m. throughout the week over at youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and follow us over at odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. If you want to watch the entire video cast after the show is over, just be sure to become a member on the YouTube channel. Of course, the full audio portion of the podcast is available for free on all major digital platforms, or just visit forcanonsake.com.